Now everybody, the Mad Dog lives, and it's alive as ever. Welcome everybody back to the channel, and yes everybody, we've got a brand new add-on plane for the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and it's the MD80. Very long awaited release indeed. This is what I've been really looking forward to this year, the MD80 being released for the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, right? I mean, I love this plane. It doesn't really fly around in real life very much anymore, sadly. I mean, okay, it is pretty ancient, as you can tell by the cockpit, and so I'm very glad to see it living on in our hearts and in the flight simulator. What am I saying? Anyway, this is a really crazy add-on. It costs 90 euros, the most expensive add-on released. It was released today on the Saturday, 30th of April, and I can see it was very hyped. It was very hard even to download this thing because the website crashed because so many people tried to download it. In today's video, let me try to find out if it's really that good. Now, first of all, a little bit of a view into the cockpit. I've already done a little bit of flying in this aeroplane, and I can already say this is study level, or at least they're claiming that this is a study level aircraft, meaning that the systems are very realistic, which might also be a little bit scary. I mean, we can look, even the circuit breakers are interactable, which I think is just a crazy part, right? That is just pretty much ridiculous. And that can be a little bit scary on the MD80 because the cockpit of the MD80, the layout is a little bit strange. We'll talk about that later, but let me just say this plane was definitely not designed by pilots. Anyway, this is great. We have got a cabin that's included as well, even though it doesn't have any lavatory. That's very sad. That's something I'm very much disappointed by. You cannot even open this door and go into the lavatory. Like, what's the point of this then? Anyway, this looks rather nice. Of course, the tail stairs are added in as well, which would make Mr. Cooper very happy. Anyways, let me try to turn on this plane now. Maybe a little bit of a tutorial even. So we'll start off, of course, with a battery. That looks nice, and we've got a lot of warning lights coming on already. Does look good. Now, it's kind of like turning on a Jaguar. Anyway, now I turn on the start pump and the APU switch right here. And yeah, the layout again is a little bit, it's just absolutely annoying. But this kind of makes this plane even more lovable. Anyway, APU starting up just like we wanted to. It says it right here. Here we go, revolutions are coming up. I'm waiting for this light here to illuminate. There we go. Let's turn on the APU generator. Here we go. Shut up. Now for the engine startup, let's go ahead and turn on this iPad right here. You have to hold the home button for it to turn on, which is, I mean, have you guys never used an iPad before? Anyway, here we can do things like have our plane de-iced or something, but we don't need that right now. Let's just close the doors. Here we go. Press on it. And yeah, doors closing. See that stair come up? This is so nice about the MD80. My God, I like this one. Anyway, now since the doors are closed, let me go ahead and start the engines right here. Everything seems ready. Let's go ahead and turn on the APU bleed. It's right here. And let's just hope for this to work, all right? So here's the starter buttons. Good. Let's hold them down and see if we can get some revolutions down here in the engines. All right. Looking good. Yes, here we go. We can see some compression coming up. Looking good. Engines are running. But this appears to be a pretty realistic startup procedure. Something I am missing, though, is the inertial reference system switches, or the whole panel of it. In another MD80 we have for the X-Plane Flight Simulator, for example, there is a panel like that. It's not added in here, though. Yeah, this is a very detailed complaining field right here, but in this plane right here, the inertial reference system aligned itself, which is interesting. I have to do nothing. Here we go. Instrument is already here, and everything is working. Plane's turned on, which I mean, there are worse things for. Anyways, maybe do a bit of a sound check right here. Get the engines to full power and see how they sound. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's just what I want to see here. Yes, everybody, the magnificent MD80 sound. Very beautiful. Let me try to taxi here. All right, looking good. And we are moving. Very realistic taxiing for sure. Let's now take this off from runway 03. Got some alerts in the background, which is good to see. That means that the alerts sounds work. It's good, just testing it out. It's not that I'm a new pilot or something. All right, here we go. Something that is worrying me a little bit is the performance of this plane. Jesus Christ. Take off. This is a long runway. Oh my God. That was a proper overrun right here. Is the Mad Dog in real life this unperformant-y? Jesus Christ, we just took this like 6,000 foot long runway to take off an MD80. There are A320s that have flown here in real life, so I'm not quite sure. Interesting. All right, MD80, that has not gone very well. Okay, please don't crash now. Don't stall out into the Alpine Mountains. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about the performance. Have they messed up the physics? See, I've obviously never flown the MD80, so it's hard for me to judge that. But, you know, so far, though, this is looking all right. Yeah. All right, it's now time for the infamous mandatory landing test as well. What is it like to land the Mad Dog here? Also down at this runway. Now, if I can describe the handling of this plane that's similar to the cockpit layout, it's a little funky, but that's what we love about the MD. Shut up! Yeah, at least we can literally hear the alert sounds are very realistic. I very much like this. Okay, let's come for landing now. Alright, that's been relatively smooth. I kind of landed a little bit late, but that's fine enough. Let me go ahead and stop. Something that I am struggling a little bit is setting up the reverse thrust for this one. It doesn't work on any of my, you know, throttle quadrants. That could be kind of worked on. But other than that, there we go. We stopped nicely. At least the stopping performance is not half bad. Here we go. Relatively smooth of a landing, I would say. That's been alright. Now, I am a little bit very much worried about the stopping performance of this plane, I do have to say. Now, this is with the landing lights turned on, and it does look very good. I mean, what can I say, man? All right, let me try to take off full power here out of Gibraltar Airport, which has I mean, there are A320s coming for this airport as well. So nothing that big of a deal, normally. All right, let's go. We're off now. Everything's set up. We're going full power. In fact, we're going a little bit over power. Okay. Come on, let's take off now. All right. That's worked relatively well. Yeah, most runways will work here. I mean, honestly, Jesus Christ. This was very much closed, though. Ooh, and by the way, we can see a little bit of a smoke trail here. Yes, the MD80. As eco-friendly as always. Good to see. Oh.
Echo, Oscar, X-ray acknowledged.
It's fine.
Transmission.
You know, some stuttering there. Anyway, this is interesting. The iPad isn't very functional. It just has like the setup where you can put this thing in flight mode, which is probably the best feature. And the aircraft services, maybe the weight and balance and stuff like that, you can check if everything's right. Maybe also check the performance, which is pretty bad. But this seems to be quite alright. Let me do some further MD80 flight testing. You know, this is very much mandatory now. Oh no, that's not looking good. Alright, inverted flying doesn't seem to work. So no flying apparently in Australia. That's interesting. So yes, everybody, that is the brand new MD80 released for the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It can probably do so much more stuff. You can see, you know, some ground handling going on, which you can select in your iPad. Just many things and that I can't really cover in today's video, but it's very nice for sure. So is it worth it? 90 euros. I think yes, very expensive. I personally would have priced this plane at like 70 to 80 euros, especially if you look at other, you know, hyper realistic planes for the flight simulator, like the CRJ, for example, which is awesome, which is only priced at 50 euros and even has a proper iPad with a lot of stuff that you can do here. But yeah, I can still definitely recommend this aeroplane. So yeah, guys, enjoy your flying, enjoy your empty wallets, and thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night. Now, thank you to all my members here on YouTube, like Mike, Jacob, Tanner, Mubarak, Darren K, Oman the Human, Robbie, Tim, Matt, Sleepy Boy, Calvin, Kelly Chaos, Ryland, Moritz, Jackie Boy, New York, Shadow, Noah, and Death Rider.